Hey, how y'all doing, E-Church? This is Pastor Russ. My turn to do a little bit from the Messiah Bible. We're in the book of Galatians, day 27. Very interesting area. In the first chapter, the first couple of verses, a lot of what Paul is talking about is how he used to rely on the law, how he worked in the law, how he labored in the law into doing things according to the law of Moses, the laws written to the Jewish people, his religious spirit, his religious way of doing things. And he talks later on about how he had a conversion, that he had divine and direct revelation from Jesus about what happened. So I think it's interesting, a lot of us, before we became born again, before we got saved, we used to criticize, we used to condemn, we used to persecute the people around us who believed. If somebody witnessed to us, if we weren't telling them to shut up, a lot of times we were telling them why their religion couldn't be right, or why I'm not going to church because that's where all the hypocrites are, or all these excuses that they made up. And typically we would be ridiculed for trying to share our faith. And Paul had this perspective that was 100% right for the 100% wrong reason that he was believing. And it literally took a kick off of his donkey onto his butt and a bright light to shine on him from finally to get the idea that Jesus was real, what he said was true, and these people that were in the way were literally following Jesus to the best of their ability. And Paul was criticizing that. He was condemning that. He was persecuting that. And then he had his Damascus Road experience, and he's sharing with the Galatians, look, I used to be like some of you. I used to think that if I did this a certain way, if I did things this way, if I was just good enough, if my good could outweigh my bad, if I could, do something right to cover up whatever I did wrong, maybe I'll be all right. I hope I get to heaven. Maybe I'll make it to heaven because, I was a good person. Paul thought he was 100% righteous in what he was doing, dragging families out into the street and stoning them to death, having them killed for believing in Jesus. He thought he was 100% right. And it wasn't until the intervention of Jesus himself, who touched Paul's heart, and the Holy Spirit that renewed his mind, that Paul finally understood that his 100% right was absolutely wrong. And it took that experience for him to start going in a different way. We need to renew our mind with the washing of the word. And you need to spend time with Jesus. You need to depend on him for your salvation. You need to depend on him for your right and wrong. I'm going to give you a piece of advice that I got when I was really young. Sometimes it's hard to live according to the Bible. Sometimes it's hard to live a holy or a righteous life. Let me challenge you with this Jewish thought. Pretend to be good. Act like you're good until you actually become good. Read this book, learn what good is, does what it says, forget about what your head and your heart are telling you and condemning you and what the enemy is lying to you. Labor at doing what is right and doing what is good. And I promise you, eventually, your walk will become right. Your mind will become stable and right. And the blessings of God will follow you because of that. You are righteous because of Jesus. So prove it by walking in the way that he walked. God bless you. I hope this helped you a little bit. We were in Galatians, day 27 of the Messiah reading. I look forward to hearing whoever's next tomorrow. Blessings.